make you want to know more. It did me when I saw this recipe for gingerbread pancakes yesterday, and I thought it was going to be a really great opportunity to do a pancake demo for you today, so you can see how easy it is to make fluffy pancakes without the flour, and that they still come out looking like pancakes, acting like pancakes, and tasting oh so delicious. Hi everyone, my name is Jerry Lynn Burnett. I am a nutrition and fitness expert and creator of this 90 Days of Vitality video series that helps you understand nutrition and healthy living so that you enjoy your food, you let go of excess weight, and you have more abundant energy simply and naturally. So today, what I want to show you is a simple, basic pancake recipe, and then we will add on our sauces and things because it's really easy to get caught up in all the extras in a recipe and not realize that it's just really a basic 2 or 3 ingredients that make the dish, and then we add on different flavors from there. So what we're going to do first is make all of our dry ingredients, and we're going to mix those up, and then we're going to mix our wet ingredients. That's really going to be the key to fluffy pancakes, is to mix your dry and your wet separately, especially when you're doing gluten-free. So the first steps to this are, I'm actually going to double this recipe, so it's going to be a whole cup of almond meal or blanched almond flour. This actually works really well with almond meal. I was surprised to find. I usually like almond flour for pancakes, but the almond meal works really well. So 1 cup of almond meal, 4 tablespoons of coconut flour. We've got, let's see here, I have a recipe. This is from southbeachprimal.com. They're gingerbread pancakes, but we're starting with the basic recipe here. So 1 cup of almond flour, 4 tablespoons of coconut flour, pinch of salt, half of a teaspoon of baking soda. That's our starting point. We'll be okay. Right so back. I've thrown the almond meal, the coconut flour, the baking soda, and the salt together. And if you keep your almond flour or almond meal in the freezer, then it's going to be kind of clumpy. You can see that here, and we're just going to pound all of those clumps out to a nice uniform consistency. And again, this recipe would be great just for basic pancakes, and this would feed 2 people with a lot of pancakes. Would be a good place to start, definitely. So I'm just going to pound these out, and then we'll do the wet ingredients. So the most important part of some grain-free pancakes, some fluffy ones, is the liquid part. For this recipe, since I've doubled it, instead of using 3 or 4 eggs, I used 6. And we're going to start with there. If it needs to be a little runnier, then I'll add another egg later, but this is where we want to start. And I'll add about a teaspoon or 2 of vanilla. I like vanilla. And the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of honey. This is completely optional. You do not have to do this. It calls for 2 tablespoons in the original, so this is pretty much cutting that in half for double. And this is the most poorly designed jar in all of the world. I just want to mention that. Whoever the makers of this are do not know how to design a great honey jar. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 in here because we're splurging, and come on, it doesn't matter. It's just 2 tablespoons of honey. So I'll throw that in here. This isn't messy at all. I'm that person that messes up every single dish in the house when I'm cooking. Whatever. Okay. So again, the key here is to whisk this together for about a minute. And you can go ahead and do that. The whisking is to whisk as much air as possible into our wet mixture. And you'll see a lot of bubbles at the top, so at least 60 seconds. Set a timer on this because you'll get bored really easy, but it's really important that you do this for at least a minute. Then we can mix our wet to our dry. Now this would be basic plain pancake recipe, but I've gone ahead and added our gingerbread sauces to this in various quantities. So like some nutmeg, cinnamon, cloves, and ginger. And I'm simply going to mix the wet into the dry. Next, we want to whisk our wet and dry mixture together. And you want it to be a little runny. Again, you can use the same whisk. And you can whisk it around. This is pretty good. I wouldn't want it to be any runnier. If it is a little runny, troubleshooting 101, just add a little bit of almond meal, it'll be fine. If it's a little dry, conversely, you can add an egg. And you can get this nice consistency. The real test will be when we put it on the eye in just a moment. So for that, we're going to want some coconut oil. I really like coconut oil here. You can also use ghee, but I like coconut oil. As here is the fun part, cooking our pancakes. It takes just a couple minutes to get your skillet to the right temperature and to figure out how your pancakes are going to work best. And this is best tested by testing. So I've got about a tablespoon of coconut oil in this skillet, and it's on kind of a medium-low to medium heat. Let that cook up or heat up and melt, and I'm just going to pour a really small pancake right in the grease. What we're looking for is for it to start bubbling kind of quickly. I don't think this is quite hot enough yet. But we're looking for the bubbles on the outside of the pancake, and then even it will have a couple of bubbles come up the middle, just like regular pancakes with flour do. I'll give this just a little bit. Okay, so our first one is going, and I want you to be able to see what this is going to look like, and don't be afraid to play around with this a little bit. There's no wrong way to do this. It takes a little bit for everyone, even professional chefs and things, when they're first starting, especially pancakes, to be a little temperamental with the temperature and the size of the pancake and all of that. It takes a little bit to figure it out, so don't worry about that. This one is almost done, so I'm going to grab the camera and then you can see what's going on. So this is just the first one. You see I've already flipped it, and that's looking good. I'll pour a couple more here. And I'm just doing really small ones. What do they call these? Silver dollar pancakes. Just so you can see what I'm talking about. So it's starting to cook around the edges. And you want to get the coconut oil on every surface so that they don't burn. Now you can see this little guy is already ready to flip. Maybe that's a little bit too long, so we're just going to grab our spatula here. I'm so talented at doing this one-handed. And flip. I'll let this other one go a little bit longer just so you can see the differences. Oh, you see this one bubbling right here in the middle. There we go. There's some more bubbles. It's exactly what we are looking for. Oh, so it's a little bit darker. This is why. Taking too long to flip. Well, we'll just go with that one the way it is. It is great. So I'm going to take this one at this point, flip it again, just so the batter cooks all the way through, and you get that nice golden brown. Again, the darker color is simply from not sitting in the coconut oil and sitting in the pan instead. So there you have it. These are the gingerbread pancakes from the South Beach Primal.com website. I've varied it just a little bit, and what I recommend topping this with is tonight we are going to make some homemade whipped cream. I'm just going to throw this in the blender and put it on high until it is whipped. Might throw some cinnamon in there and then some grass-fed butter in between. I do have some maple syrup. We might just put a little bit of that just for flavor purposes, but that is it. Enjoy your pancakes. Treat every once in a while, so that's why we have them in our house, and that's why I shared this recipe with you today. So I'm going to enjoy these pancakes right now with the butter, and then I'm going to make whipped cream this evening for my husband and I as we eat them too. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Leave a comment below telling me your experience with making grain-free pancakes, what you like, your favorite variations, and how you feel about grain-free baking. I cannot wait to read them and interact with you. If you aren't subscribed to these videos every single day, hit the subscribe button right now so you never miss a Vitality video. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, everyone. My name is Jerry Lynn Burnett of jerrylynnburnett.com, and we live healthy to transform the world. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.